Okay, so we're going to talk about why we matter. Because I think that people are losing the understanding, well, not of truly why they matter and what happens in our individuality and our awakenness, how we awaken to why we matter. And I'm going to make tea while I wait for people to get on, because why not? And as I do hypnotherapy sessions with people, I'm amazed at how many star seeds are out there. So we're going to talk about why we matter. I'm going to talk about certain things that I've experienced as a hypnotherapist, as a past life regressionist. I'm going to be doing an oracle reading and for the collective. And on the oracle reading, I can tell you that if you stay and listen to it, then it's your message. If you're not patient to listen, I get it. And it's not your message. It's that simple. There's no two ways about it. And it's all good. So what I'm going to do is ask you, if you guys are joining me for the first time, my name is Tony. I've been a psychic my entire life. It's one of those things. And I've believed in reincarnation since I was aware of myself, which means around 3 years old. And I am a certified hypnotherapist. I'm a psychic tarot reader. I work with twin flames and twin rays all over the world. I've been blessed. It took a long ass time to find my mission. But then again, I realized I shouldn't have any sooner, and I would have been ready for what I face with many of you when I do hypnotherapy sessions. I know what to say now. I know how to guide. And had I been doing this kind of work, say, even 20 years sooner, I wouldn't have been able to navigate to this level of power and trusting the wisdom. See, trusting divine guidance. And that's the main part. You can be a psychic all day long, right? But if you don't have enough self-love as it is, and if you don't trust your downloads, then you might be a psychic, but you're not a good psychic for everyone that meets you. When you start trusting your downloads and you understand the difference between a download and a corrupted download, and there's such a thing, believe me, when you understand that, then you become better for people who come to you for spiritual alignment. I don't know. I was divinely guided to tell you who I am because some of you are probably new to me. Some of you know me. Some of you are on the Discord, and I appreciate you being on the Discord. We're going to be talking about why you matter. I'm going to give you examples, and you may find that those examples resonate with your particular character and character flaws, which you need to understand so that you can value who you are. And so, Zale, thanks for sharing the live. More of you, if you could share the live, and I'll tell you why I need you to share it. Because I've had multiple clients, again, all over the world, telling me that they're not seeing my lives pop up in their feed. And this is called shadow banding. And being shadow banned is, what it means is that they don't promote you anymore because you've been a bad boy or a bad girl. And sometimes a bad boy and a bad girl simply means saying something that offends fanatic. I'm being very real here. I'm not going to, sugarcoat it. A fanatic that has their own agenda and their own fears, and that they want to foster those fears onto other people, and making it their business to stop people like us listening to other dialogue. Okay? So the first thing I want to do is invite you to share the live so we can have more than 9 people. Right now we have 9 people, and it's going to be a quick live. I get downloads right before I fall asleep. Crazy clear vision. That's beautiful. I've been sad for the last few days. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm again, you can't be a human being, okay, on planet Earth and not feel what's happening, especially when you're saying, I don't know why. Well, I'm going to tell you what I think it is. I feel that what's going on in Gaza, I'm sorry, guys, I'm going to say it, and that part of the world, okay, Congo, Gaza, Sudan, is going to affect you. Why? Because it's the butterfly effect, number one. Two, we've had hundreds of thousands of incarnations, and some of these lineages being destroyed right now, we embodied them. And I'll tell you why I know that, because when I do past life regressions for myself, right, I see faces that span all kinds of different races, genders, and nuances, that there's no way they're only in the western part of the world. Okay, they're all over the world. So that's also the energy, and I feel attacked. Yeah. So you need to sage yourself and protect yourself. I've had 3 dreams of him, so no theme, just there. Lol. Yeah. But there's more to this journey than the him or the her. And again, I invite you to understand that. And it's hard for me to say that to you without sounding cold, because I know how incredibly hard it is to put some kind of, not distance, but to put some kind of transcendental understanding to these twin flame separations. Okay, to be fair to you, especially if you guys are in your 20s and 30s and 40s, it's easier when you get older, just so you know, because you become not wiser, more patient, more understanding. Do you understand? And I did a live yesterday about D dropping his body, who is a twin flame who never went into personal union with his beloved twin. They will not be in union in this incarnation, clearly. But he has inspired hundreds of people to understand there are different ways to live one's life and in authenticity. Okay, so hey, Sarah, it's good to see you. I feel... Okay, let me read some of your comments. And Letty, I want to thank you again for the video that you sent me on the book Metaphysical Anatomy. Oh my God, I ordered the book. I'm actually making sure that the print is good quality, because some of these Russian writers, because if I understand it, this person who wrote Metaphysical Anatomy is a Russian. Some of these Russian writers are unbelievable. I don't know if you guys know that, but while they were under the Iron Curtain, right? I remember, and I don't know where I was getting this information, because this was before the internet. So in the 80s, I was fascinated by metaphysical and so forth. And one of the things I learned about the Russians, again, going back to that book, Metaphysical Anatomy, by, her last name is Rose, I forgot the first name, and Letty sent me a link to a woman who actually talks about her journey of stage 4 cancer, from breast cancer, and it attacked every organ, and she was going into failure, non-remission, and she went into hypnotherapy. If I, regressed, connected with her ancestors and angels, her grandmother, and then went right into these books and holistic, like Dr. Sebi talked about that, and healed herself. And they just, one healed person is one less customer. We all know that. But anyway, I regress. Why am I talking about so many different things? Because if you don't know the power that you have to heal yourself, to overcome yourself. I have issues, health issues, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that. And this book is posted on Discord. God bless you. Because I'm going to send it to Mia, by the way. I'm going to send it to Mia because, anyway. Luna, hang on. Tell me what this is, because this looks like Russian. Did you know my son speaks fluent Russian, conversational Russian? He taught himself how to speak. He's very connected to Russian from past lives. But anyway, the Russians, let me finish this point, then we'll go right on to your oracle reading, and then we'll talk about why you matter, why each of you matter, and why I needed to do this for you. The Russians studied, they had these pregnant women, and for the whole term of their pregnancy, they had these women swim with dolphins. These kids became known as dolphin babies. So they would swim with dolphins, and the frequency of the dolphins, you know what I mean? Their clicks and sound, these beautiful sounds they make. These kids, and again, Russians, my friends, they studied these kids' IQ. And the average IQ was 20% higher, 20 to 30% higher than the average human being who did not have the ability to swim with dolphins. That's pretty freaking amazing, okay? And the Russians also would study people dying, and they would actually, they developed special cameras to film and to weigh the body by milligrams, right? When the soul left the body. Okay, so even though the Bible was not allowed in Russia, just so you know, because there were two things that were contraband in Russia in the 70s and 80s, was Levi's jeans and the Bible. I don't know if you guys know that. But anyway, and so there's a point to talking to people who are 20, 30 years older that have, I don't know, a clue or maybe 2 clues or 3 clues about life, is that you're going to lose a lot of these weird, like nonsensical, it may appear to be like mindless chatter, but some of the shit's got nuggets of wisdom. And to the point where even people I don't like, just so you know, who are in the spiritual community or whatever, I'm not going to name them because I'm not here to bully people, that's for damn sure, but there are people I don't like, but I'll listen to some of their pitches, and some of this shit has really nuggets of gold, you know? So you want to, you don't, I used to be that person who got turned off by people and just wouldn't listen to them. And now I've changed the way I am about that, because even a blind chicken gets a kernel of corn now and then. That would be my twins saying on that end. Okay, so it sounds like something familiar, but I can't remember where I also know this from. Yes, exactly, Luna. She says, it sounds like something familiar, but I can't remember where I also know this information from. I don't either. It's making me crazy because I would like books because there was no internet. So where the hell was I reading this shit? And I'm trying to remember if maybe I was reading this from Ruth Montgomery's books. And she was talking about Atlantis and the various types of races. Not races in the way you know, in terms of vibrational race, meaning, you know, we have the crystal kids, the indigo kids, the rainbow kids. There was a brown, red, blue vibrational frequency of people, and the last brown vibration is the only way I can say it. Were born in the late 40s, and then that was the end of that. Okay, and then new vibrations of people were born. Indigo, I can't think of any other names, I'm sorry, so I'm going to repeat myself. Indigo, crystal, and rainbow. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I know I'm not being as clear as I'd like. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do, okay, before we launch into why you matter, because this is really important to me, because I had a client yesterday and I did a hypnotherapy session for her, and this kid was born with psychic powers, and I'm not going to get into her name, this and that, but she was, they thought she had she had a psychotic breakdown because she was surrounded. It was like a Twilight Zone movie scene, where she was surrounded by people who only believed in 3D, and that would make somebody lose their mind, to be honest, okay? Especially when you're psychic, you can hear people's thoughts, you're telepathic. And remember, a lot of the kids being born in 1997 and beyond can see auras, okay? People have been born throughout the centuries, don't get me wrong, but there's more people being born right now who can see auras, who are telepathic, who are divinely guided by light beings, we're talking about star seeds that are extremely powerful star seeds. Some of them have chosen not to incarnate for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years, and some they've never been here before, okay? And they have had to do the Little Mermaid thing, which I talk about a lot, is to take on karma to come here. Do you understand? So it's a big bloody deal. Truth, I saw a lot in my childhood, but then I convinced myself that it was my imagination. Yeah, because you're afraid that you may be called crazy and they do a 72-hour hold on you, right? Or something just as bad. And so what we need to do as a community of some of us who are older, or the elders, or the older to the younger, is to really realize that what you say and the conversations you choose to have publicly in a bar, in a cocktail party, at a dinner party, needs to have more meat to it, because somebody out there is sitting at a table listening to you, whatever, and you're not doing it to what is the word? You're not doing it to entertain people. You're changing the trajectory of your conversation to not just help the friend you're having the conversation with, or your child, or whoever, but don't be shy to do it publicly, is my point. Because somebody might lean back and need to hear what you're saying, and may lean in and turn their chair around and decide to chip into conversation in a restaurant or what have you. You know what I mean? Now I have to reteach myself. I definitely saw spirits as a child, and her voices, I was told it was my imagination. I was terrified. Yeah, that's fucked up. So that's why Matthias de Stefano Matthias Di Stefano is such a great example of a child who was with agnostic people, right? And he was raised in, I'm trying to remember what part of the world, South America, but I'm not sure if it was Argentina or, I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm not going to say it. I'm not sure. But anyway, I remember him talking about the fact that he just knew things, and and his parents never like said he was crazy or said they didn't say anything. They just let him talk. And because they let him talk, he actually remembers original names of Atlantis, Lemuria, and beyond. Okay? And now he's become a teacher. He travels to Egypt with people. He travels to different sacred sites all over the world. He speaks. He has amazing shows on Gaia.com, and you should check it out. And I've watched every episode, and the kid's brilliant, okay? He's absolutely brilliant. I say kid because when you look at his face, he looks like he's 21. By now, he's probably hitting the ceiling of late 20s, early 30s, but he's got this angelic face, he's got this Botticelli type of face. And so you would never think, right? Oh, well, how would he know? Well, you damn right. It's a new body. That doesn't mean the soul isn't ancient and wise. And that's another mistake we make with some of these kids, is like we talk to them like they don't know shit. They know a lot more than you think. And we have to respect our children. Like I never raised my son, like he was below me. I was talking to him like he was an adult from day one. And I'm not saying I raised him perfectly. Believe me, I made a lot of crucial mistakes. But in the end, I think that I taught him how to think. You know what I mean? How to think, how to argue a point, and so on. And one day I'll tell you more about that. But let's go right into the oracle reading. I need you guys to go. And it's funny, when I talk about shit like that, I lose people, which I kind of love, because then I know that this is the core group. This is the reading for all of you. So I love that. And I am going to now ask you to close your eyes and give your angels, guides, and allies permission to guide you in this session. In this particular session, as I pull this, sweetie, everything I talk about, believe it or not, is twin flames. All of it. And so here's the themes, just so you understand, Foxy. We're talking about why you matter. That is a twin flame story. Because if you don't think you matter, then how the hell are you going to be in union with your twin flame? And so we're going to talk about that and what makes us different. Okay, what makes us different, and why twin flames are not at all cookie cutter. That's why a lot of creators, and I'm not saying I'm the best creator, to be honest with you, I'm probably not, but I'll tell you what, I will not bullshit you and give you a Barbie and Ken story. What I will give you is the fact that every twin flame walks a different beat to the different drum, and it was done purposely for a reason. Because if we were all fucking clones, we wouldn't matter. So here's why you matter. But first, before we go into why you matter, and for me to give you actual examples of why you matter, let's go right into, I'm saging with Palo Santo and California White Sage. I'm pulling out the Angelic Lightwork Healing Oracle card from Alana Fairchild. And then I'm going to pull out another Lightworker Oracle card, Fierce Love 1111 edition, Humanity as One, again from Alana Fairchild. You'll find that she is I have over 60 decks. And yet she's the one I keep pulling from. And I'm going to read to you what this is, okay? And so let's go right into that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle the cards. Oh, you're new to my channel. Oh, how sweet. Oh, I hope you decide to follow me. Accurate Oracle decks, I'll get hers. They're fucking amazing. The Rumi deck's amazing. I give it to my son. He took my deck over, so I don't play with it because they're his. And it feels silly to me to buy another Rumi deck, but I might actually have to do that to get access to it, because he does not like other hands to touch his decks. And he's right. He's absolutely right. So you don't let people's dirty paws on your... So I have public decks. You know what I mean? Like my tarot cards. And then he says, are you reading for me on your public deck or your private deck? He's very funny. Anyway, so let me go ahead and start shuffling the cards. And what I want you to do is tell me if you want to pick from the bottom, middle, or top. Bottom, middle, or top. And then I will read you from that. And then we'll do a second reading because you need it. I know you need it. Okay. All right. Thank you for liking it. And please top. Okay, I've stopped. Top. Keep going. Top, middle, or bottom. Top, middle, or bottom. So I have 2 tops. Middle. Top. Okay, I'm going to go with top. I'm just stopping. Okay. All right, you guys. So this is from the top. This is a beautiful heart chakra. It's rainbow prismatic. It's gorgeous. And it's 24, the number 24. And in Kabbalah numerology, 24 is love, money, and power. It also means 6. It's 6, which is all about love, the Venus planet, and so forth. So this is about your heart chakra. So let's go right into it. So bear with me while I go to that particular page. And then I'm going to read it to you. So I want you to sit back and relax, close your eyes, and listen. You close your eyes. You do. Thank you for asking. Let's begin. Hearing guidance. Hearing authentic spiritual guidance requires a drop from the head into the heart. Did you hear that? A drop. You got to move out of your head, the monkey mind, into your heart. Spiritual messages can be best heard through the feelings of the heart. When we aim to channel guidance word for word, we may engage intellect, analysis, logic, and reason. These are useful qualities, but they can block spiritual guidance that is more intuitive and non-rational. Spiritual guidance often asks us to have faith when we cannot see a good reason for it, and to trust in the unknown when we'd rather have a map and a clear set of instructions with everything laid out in great detail in advance. Thanks very much. This oracle comes to you with encouragement to drop into spiritual knowing, to become detached as possible, and allow your heart to attract, guide, and move you forward on your path. Although you may be concerned about how things could possibly work out for the best, Archangel Gabriel reassures you that you will know all that you need to know at the best time, in the best way. Keep listening to your heart. Okay, healing, magic, and manifestation with Archangel Gabriel. Connecting to your heart takes you into sacred space. You may wish to rest a hand on your heart. Close your eyes and breathe. Be here now. Rest into this present moment. Consider what you are grateful for, and then say out loud. And I'm going to say it for us, okay? I'll be your conduit. Archangel Gabriel, thank you for your presence and for bringing the gifts of spiritual messages, higher understandings, and inner healing for the greatest good of all. You wash my heart and mind in the sacred waters that cleanse and renew the soul. And I am ready to experience healing and rebirth. Please hold and protect the sacred space for healing to happen according to divine wisdom. My heart is open to you, beloved angel. I surrender into your protection and guidance of this sacred work. So be it. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's beautiful. Let's go on to the next. Any questions or comments on that one? So what I've been telling my clients and on my lives, all here, is call on your angels, archangels. A lot of you guys are light bringers. That's why I'm pulling from the oracle deck today of the light worker and light bringer, is because you are being attacked. Shit's happening. Yeah. Why? Because you're ascending, and that's not part of the agenda of certain other malevolent spirits. If you've ever played with a Ouija board, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know if you know, right? Okay. So what I want you to do is start calling on the following archangels, okay? And you can mix them up however you want, add one, or delete one, I don't care. But here's what I do. I'm sharing exactly what I do. You call on Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, and Archangel Ezekiel. You have 2 in front, 2 in the back, like bodyguards walking you everywhere you go. You'll feel their presence. I'm not kidding. And Ezekiel is like turning around from the bottom of your feet to the crown chakra like a wheel. Think of it as a wheel spinning slowly, protecting you from all forms. And the reason why it's important is because if you feel like there's weird attachment or negative energy or something lowering your frequency or depression coming out of nowhere and you know it's not yours, besides saging yourself every day, you should be giving your angels, guides, and allies permission to guiding you every day, and you should be calling on your archangels. Okay? Many of you want to pray to God directly. Pray to God directly. But remember, God's source, however you see it, has given these archangels the power as his direct or her direct messages. Getting emotional, picturing anger from, so Angelica is saying anger, getting emotional, picturing them. Hernandez is saying star, yes, love it. Okay, cool. Now we're going on to the second. This one is called the Light Worker Oracle, Fierce Love 1111 edition, Humanity as One. And so again, close your eyes. The message, if you're here, the message is yours, or else you wouldn't be here. All right, so here we go. I'm shuffling, and when you're ready, give it about 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Pick from the bottom, top, or middle. Bottom, top, or middle. Let's go. Middle. Okay, I'm going to stop shuffling now. Bottom. Let me see who else. Middle. Okay, let's go. Middle. Okay, I'm going middle. Middle. All right, you got it. Whoa. Hello. You understand, these are brand new cards, right? For one. For two. Second time I get this card. I got it for a client. This card is badass. Let me tell you what it is. So you've got this incredible card, 9, the number 9. 9 is God's number. Okay, it's an incredible number. And you look up on YouTube why 9 is a power number. Okay, number 1. It's called Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. And it shows a beautiful African-American woman with gold eyes holding, her hair is all over auburn gold, and she's holding on to a lion cub, and her eyes and his eyes, the lion cub's eyes, are the same beautiful gold, this beautiful fierce gold. All right, let me go ahead and read from this. And see, and again, it's 9, Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. Those of you who are masculine feminines, masculine men, or men, well, guess what? That's your message too, because where intuition comes is from the feminine aspect of you. Great warriors understood that and would tap into their feminine to track, to divinely get downloads through their heart chakra. That's a feminine energy, okay? And we've all been men and women in past lives, so let's begin. Divine feminine wisdom empowers you to grow into your vision, your dreams, and the fulfillment of your life purpose. Perhaps you envision a very different life for yourself from what you are experiencing now. They're telling me to okay, let me repeat it. Perhaps you envision a very different life for yourself from what you are experiencing now. The divine feminine wisdom reminds you that you can experience even the most extraordinary dreams as a reality if you are willing to grow into what you desire, to become what you seek. For this to happen, you are guided to let go, surrender any plans about how you can best manifest your dreams, and instead allow life to guide and nourish you through your life experience each day. Know that the universe supports your divine destiny and is helping you become all that you are divinely meant to be. Let's continue. And it's 108. Wow. When divine feminine wisdom reaches for you, the message is clear. You are in process of becoming, of bringing more of your personal vision of heaven down to earth. Sometimes there are growing pains as well as the joy that growth brings, but the divine feminine is protective like a lioness, and you can rest assured that at a spiritual level, you have a loyal and loving guardian watching over you. Sometimes there's pain in the process of authentic soul expression because we are asked to confront and work through our fears in order to outgrow them. In other words, makes fear your ally. You may judge your suffering as though it is a sign that you are not operating at a high enough frequency, yet spiritual masters upon this planet once endured great suffering, as well as experiencing tremendous love and joy in the fulfillment of their divine destiny. That is how they eventually became masters. Growing pains are just part of the process of healing and creation, a cycle of breaking through what has become too small for your soul. There is joy in the eventual freedom, but the breaking through can feel painful or confronting sometimes. This is part of the human experience. So if you're suffering, receive this message as reassurance that you are growing. When things are difficult, you are feeling doubt, or there is something that you feel you need to do that scares you and challenges you at the depth of your being, then you are experiencing growing pains. They will pass, and you will benefit from the growth. However, you need to know that whilst this difficulty is in your life, the divine is very much with you, encouraging you, believing in you so much that it will deliver a tough lesson, because you can certainly handle it for however long it needs to continue, and that won't be forever. This oracle also brings you a message about how much the divine wisdom loves you and wants to help guide you so that you can grow with the least struggle and the most peace. If you don't listen to her, instead choosing to believe in fear, you may unduly afraid of your own growing pain. Perhaps you won't be sure if they will ever end, and you may even doubt your ability to turn adversity into triumph. You may lose faith instead of trusting that life has your best interests at heart and you are capable of meeting any challenge that arise in your life. Instead of trusting, you may believe that the world isn't safe for you, keeping you paralyzed in self-defeating, self-harming patterns that give you temporary satisfaction, yet keep you struggling under a burden of emotional pain and mental anguish. She knows that your soul is an expression of divine majesty, and she believes in your goodness, courage, and grace. Can you sense her love blossoming within your heart? The divine feminine's promise is that when you are willing to show up to your life each day and trust in the circumstances before you, she will guide you into your most beautiful divine destiny. Fierce, empowered, loving, and true to the dignity and grace of your soul, it is safe to trust her. She wants for you only the best and most beautiful journey, perfectly suited for all that you are and all that you can be. Your heart beats in one perfect rhythm along with the heart of love at the center of our universe. Trust your heart and trust life. All is progressing beautifully as you are guided ever deeper into divine fulfillment. Wow. Wow. That was your message, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. When you actually start saying things like, I always win, which is what I'm actually sharing you things I started doing, because I was in a mental wheelchair into my deep 30s. When I started saying, I always win, did I always win? No. When I lost, I would say, thank you. I know there's something here that I did not gain this, win this, whatever. And I would say, thank you for the losses. With the same fervor as I said, thank you for the wins. I always land on my feet was I always, no matter what, I will always land on my feet. So what had happened when I started saying that is that I was actually saying the universe is safe, that I will always land on my feet. And the third thing I would do constantly is if I felt out of my body in any way, I would go power walking in the woods, rain or shine, snow or, I'm not kidding, at 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever, with my beloved, or alone. And so what happens is when you feel that the universe is safe and it's not out to F you up, the world starts becoming your ally. And once you know that the world is your ally, you will do bold things. There's an old Vedic saying, Vedic, however, Vedic, Hindustani scriptures. There's a report that they're 7,000 years old, 10,000 years old, whatever, they're old as hell. That if a man is destined to drown, he won't hang. In other words, if you're destined to die in a car accident, or you're destined to drown, there's nothing that can save you. But if you're destined to live, there's nothing that can harm you. Does that make sense? So there's something about that knowledge, about this incredible feeling that the universe has your back, and you really believe it, that's going to propel you into doing some magical things that ultimately will benefit the collective. Because again, we're going back to the 100 monkey theory, right? And so hopefully you know what that is. If you don't, I don't want to waste time like explaining it to you. Look up 100 monkey theory. What does that mean, this theory? Because it's pretty extraordinary. So now the purpose of this whole live was, why do you matter? You matter because just as every quartz crystal has its own energy and purpose, right? Every quartz crystal, from labradorite to pink quartz to obsidian to carnelian, and they all have different properties. And each crystal, it's its own individual personality. Do you understand? If you've ever really, really understood how to pick crystals, you'll realize that they pick you, number one. But how do you pick crystals? Well, when you put them on your heart chakra to your third eye and you just feel the energy. If you feel nothing, that ain't your crystal. So I don't care how pretty it is on a necklace or whatever, or it's a raw piece of material that you want to buy, like it's a hefty piece that you want on your altar or whatever. You got to feel it. You can also feel it on like Etsy or whatever. You can feel, you're like pulled. You keep you every day you're visiting that crystal. The crystal's picked you. It's yours. You're supposed to have it. So why does that matter? How does that explain how you matter to each of us? Well, if I was in a homogenized planet, like some of these planets are, by the way, where everyone's blue and everyone looks the same and all that, except for maybe a slight nuance, it's not as interesting. But even then, as starseeds, we have these sparks that make us so different. And we bring this weird, different perspective. And many of you were born with these natural abilities that scared you. I had a friend that actually, she was telepathic. She could read people's thoughts. She was so freaked out over it. She was born from an Arabic family, She was born in Dubai, and there wasn't any of these spiritual support systems, and so she was medically lobotomized, pharmaceutically lobotomized, so that because she couldn't figure it out, she couldn't make sense of it. And so what you have to do is surround yourself. Wait, I need to write this down. I wish I knew this in my 20s. It's great you're starting now. Well, I don't know what to repeat, actually. Sorry. I'm trying to build this mentally, but I'm only 25. I feel so old and tired. The old and tired feeling that you're feeling, Luna, isn't your soul. It's your ego. And your ego feels like it's getting its ass kicked. That's why you feel it. So you need to see what you need to do so that you can actually feel more empowered. You know what I'm saying? It's your ego. You're exhausted. I'm saying. So there's things you need to do, like get grounded with energy and so forth. Wish I was a telepathic so I could read his mind. Yeah, but that's why you probably can't, because you would be doing it to do this. And just so you know, so every time I do a hypnotherapy session with a client for past life regression, every time I've done it, I've done many clients. So I'm going to give you about 30 to 40% remember a past life on another planet as a different type of species. I'm not kidding. And it can be quite frightening. I had a client yesterday who said, I saw my hands and I saw 3 fingers and I don't want to, so I edited it and gave you 5 fingers. I said to her, yeah, I knew you did it as you did it. I knew you saw 3 fingers and you didn't see 5, but you needed to make sense of it. Because how could you be that person? How could you embody another species on another planet? And you have to understand that 3D logic, okay, and I keep saying that again and again, I need you to really understand 3D logic is based on society's norms of its time. So what was logical 100 years ago, we know is absurd today. Many things. All you have to know is, that's why it's good to study history. As far back as you can go, because then you'll understand that many things were logical are crazy. They're crazy now, okay? It was logical to believe that the earth was the center of the universe. That was believed for 1,500 years. And if you didn't believe that shit, you were going to get burned at the stake. Okay, that was just tortured before that happened. Okay, so be careful of thinking that 3D is what you're going to base reality on. And remember, and this is science, okay? And here's the response I get. But first, let me tell you, we know that we see less than 10% of what's truly around us. Now, 3D linear think, oh yeah, it's vibration, it's light, it's different lights, it's different colors. No, it's actually, you can see other entities. You can see them and you can connect with them if you want to. Because at that point you've breached 4D into 5D or even higher, and here you are now suddenly seeing things, and that can make people, think they're schizophrenic. Okay? So some could be. I can't argue that point. I can't, because I don't know them. But I know that some people have been driven to that belief that they were schizophrenic and they were shamans. So why are you important? Well, because if you have some of these gifts and you're hell-bent on winning in this incarnation to get your mission done, then you believing that perhaps what you're going through and your downloads and having heart discernment, so that you know when it's a corrupted download and when it's a true pure download, when you teach yourself this, right? Or you talk to other people who have been able to journey through that and now can help you figure out how to discern the difference between a corrupted download and a true download, then you can be a vibrational energy that is so powerful that just your presence across the planet can impact other people, and they will never know that you live and breathe. That's how powerful we are. That's how important you are. So there are some of us that teach and that share what we've gone through in a certain way. We approach people in a certain way with a different vibration, right? And it resonates for those people. And there's some of you that are very soft. You're very much like geisha, Kuan Yin, very beautiful, soft energy. But your force is no less powerful. It's needed. Because not everyone can come in with a Kali energy, Kali Ma energy. It can be overbearing. Not everyone can come in as a masculine warrior energy. It's great for some people, but it can be too abrasive for others. And so once you understand what you're going through and you're recognizing it, I don't care if you live in the Bible Belt, in the Midwest, whatever, you may need to move. You may need to pack up your stuff and move. And rent a room or rent a small studio apartment and start a new life somewhere else that's going to be more of a match to your frequency as you unravel who you truly are, who happens to be embodied in the incarnation you've taken on in this particular timeline. Your job is not to self-doubt and to convince people that you're not crazy by dimming your light or lying to yourself and gaslighting yourself and hiding these secrets of your incredible abilities from other people to make them comfortable. I don't care if you're related to them. You're related to them in this life. The one thing Dalai Lama said that I really resonated with for a long time, he said, "You've all been my mother. You've all been my mother." What does that mean? It might be your mother and father in this incarnation, but were they your mother and father in the last incarnations and every incarnation you've embodied? No. So this idea of bloodline that we're so attached to, I'm a proud Irishman, I'm a proud French woman, that's ego. It has nothing to do with reality, spiritual reality. It has everything to do with 3D reality, but not spiritual reality. Spiritual reality is that we're all connected. You don't have to be an African to realize that what's happening in the Congo is wrong, right? Because for all you know, you were one of those, you were incarnated in that part of the world at some point. Does that make sense? You could have been one of those ancestors, theirs. So ultimately, what you want to come to a greater understanding is that when people like me say, when you heal, I heal, when I heal, you heal, again, I mean it literally. I could be your ancestor. You don't know that. I could be. And when I say that, you could be Swedish, Irish, Italian, American, Japanese, Chinese, Pakistani, Palestinian, whoever. And I could have been embodying me and you, same. You've embodied my lineage that I carry today. And all these lineages I've just described. So we can be attached to them in a beautiful, loving, humanitarian, protective energy that we can send all of these peoples, because we've probably embodied all of these lineages, and yet not get so caught up in our own with this kind of like almost shackled prison, self-imprisonment, that my mommy is my mommy forever. No, your mommy's your mommy now. And whatever you're dealing with your mom issues or your dad issues or whatever, that's not to say walk away from them. In fact, I would never do that unless they've done something so brutal, like abusive, like, you know what I'm saying, like very, very. But for the most part, not agreeing to agree, not maybe your parents don't see you as the full light that you are. You can still forgive them and love them and help them. I'm a real advocate of working, especially when your parents, because I've heard, it makes me sad actually. I've heard a lot of hospice nurses tell me that many people won't go and visit their mom or bring their mom or dad home to die because, they had a hang up and resentment and fighting and infighting and whatever. And this is an opportunity when your person's dying, your relative, to actually do some lineage healing. You want lineage healing? It's not pleasant, and you're able to help that person that you couldn't connect with until then to cross over. That could be the greatest lineage healing. It would be instantaneous lineage healing, because for a moment you've paused your resentment and they've paused because they're so afraid of dying. Usually people are screwed up, like that have harmed people like you, like light bringers. Because you were like the scapegoat in your family, the black sheep, whatever, right? Once you come back to help them cross over, they will collapse. Humility, the tower of their ego will collapse and realize who you are. And that's the greatest gift you can give yourself and them before they cross over. It's actually removing a lot of scars. So that's why you're important. You're important on so many levels. You're important in like sometimes turning the other cheek. Not to be a welcome mat, but to actually show other people that you can't hold the kind of hate within yourself that they can hold. And once they see that you can't hold it, that you'd rather hold love instead of hate, guess what? It collapses their ego right on the spot. I'm not joking, on the spot. And that's why you're important. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, Luna, we are glad you're here. Yes, this is Luna says, I can just say how glad I am to find like-minded people who have been through or going through the same thing. Exactly. And we have a Discord. Jen, if you don't mind, do you mind giving? Because I don't know how to do it. Jen, share with Luna, if you don't mind, the Discord, maybe. Thank you, reminding me of love. Great, I'm glad. Thank you, Carla. I'm glad this is talking to you. I'm so glad. So like, I'm going to share this with you. My mom and I, we didn't get along. She was this French elegant woman, tall, slim, high cheekbones, dressed, had clothes made for her all over the world, Paris, Rome. You get the picture, right? Perfumed, gorgeous, right? And my father was a pirate. He was an absolute irreverent nut. He hung with Frank Sinatra, Muhammad Ali. I'm dropping names to give you an idea. He was out there, but he was an incredible storyteller. And he was also also a, how do I call it? He was also a charismatic, magnetic narcissist. But he was generous, unlike narcs. He was very, very generous to everyone, And being raised around this really weird, nomadic, bohemian family, and I came out, kind of like having a spiritual compass, remembering why I chose them and this and that. It made me feel like small because they were such big people. They were beautiful. People they were head turners, and I didn't know how important I was at that time because I was a kid and I was always traveling to different countries. And I saw poverty, levels of poverty and levels of wealth that would just blow your mind. The inconsistency of how brutal humans can be is pretty amazing. But anyway, so ultimately what happened was when my father died, it destroyed my mother. Literally, it took a while. But and she had always thought me to be a scapegoat. And ultimately what happened is I began to step into my light more and more. And one of the people that helped me understand what I needed to do was my husband, who died in 2020. But he would say to me, you know, I noticed that whenever you don't talk to your mom, you do really well. And I started doing that. I would tell her, I need a break from you. But when it was time for her to die, I brought her home. And again, you know, there were things I was doing for her, and there were things I could not do for her. And we had really strong, hard, difficult conversations, which were really actually good for her and my son. And we were able to put at the foot of her bed a picture of her as a little girl. And I'm going to cry right now. It's so beautiful. She said, you know, and it was a week before she died. She said, I know why I was afraid my whole life. And I went, oh my God. And I sat next to her. I pulled a chair up and I sat and looked into her eyes. And you know, when people are dying, you can see it in their eyes. And she said, she was born in 1939 when the war began in France. And there were, you know, she said we would have these, you know, sirens going off. And we would have to run into, you know, the metro. You know, I don't know if you know, the metros in Paris, to hide for bomb shelter. And everyone around me was afraid. And it was like dark. And this went on until she was 3 or 4. And I said, that's incredible, purge it. And then on the other side of her bed, I'd put a picture, a beautiful painting of the divine masculine and feminine. I said, now you had this story of what your life was. Now start manifesting what kind of new life and a beloved and children that love you and people that love you and all that surrounds you in love, and manifest that for your next incarnation on this planet or another planet. And that was the work we did. But we would have, in my 20s, in my teens, in my 30s, in my 40s, big fucking horrible fights. Because it was a power play. And she wanted me to be mini me for her. You know, I needed to be like her, but I wasn't. And so one of the things that we started understanding is how we could see each other. Really see each other. Not what we were, not what we embody in the physical world. You know what I mean? These personalities we had taken on these incarnations, but see our souls to our souls. And so that's the work that is part of lineage healing that you are invited to do by the universe. Don't be like those other people that say when the hospice nurse calls and your father's doing really badly, he's maybe got a week to live, and the person on the other line says, yeah, call me when he's dead or she's dead. I can't tell you how many hospice nurses told me that story, because we went through a few hospice situations until I finally brought her home. I was like, fuck this, she's coming home. This is stupid. Because the system is it's broken. So there is a gift to allowing, and this is something we've lost across the centuries. In the ancient times, right, up until 100 years ago, our people came home to die, or they were home to die. And it's good for everyone to experience that, because it puts us on notice that time is not infinite. And it's also an opportunity for you to actually lineage heal. Because now you're much more spiritually advanced than you ever were in other incarnations. And why do I know that? Because we were too damn busy surviving, farming, soldiering, whatever, right? We didn't have time to have this kind of incredible opportunity to philosophize about our own existence and our importance. So when you give yourself unconditional self-love, which for me, it took ayahuasca to teach me how to do that, because I didn't know what unconditional love was. I didn't even know, how can you give yourself something you've never had and you don't even know what it feels like? And so for me, that was the journey I had to take. I had to take that journey and get blown away by facing unconditional love and go, holy shit, this is amazing. And then I had a clue. I had like a very faded blueprint, if you will, because when you come out of the medicine, it's not as potent as it was when you were in it. But I had a clue as to how to give it to me more and more. And that's what you can teach your people in this particular lineage you embody. That's why you're important. And when you do this kind of work, it becomes the 100 monkey theory. So if you guys don't know what it is and you want me to explain it to you, let me know. Does that make sense? I hope someday I have enough strength to let go of all the resentment and anger in my family. I get you. Okay, so it's really it's part of the journey. And people think, well, what does that have to do with twin flames? Let me wrap it up, because I'm going to tell you what it has to do. Because the twin flame that decides to take an incarnation, because you've decided to take an incarnation with a particular family lineage that has a narcissist or a covert narc or whatever, bipolar, personality disorder, depression, let's just tag on all these ridiculous terms, but just the human experience and its many facets. And you're not able to navigate it without rage, anger, whatever. The twin flame is going to develop to be the exact twin flame that embodies one or both of your parents, or be a magnifier of what has been triggered in your family dynamics in this particular incarnation. That's why it's all connected. You understand? Does that kind of explain how this is a twin flame conversation? What do you do when one of them dies? You mean one of the twin flame dies? Oh, the 100 monkey. Okay, the 100 monkey theory is this. Okay, I'm glad you asked. Okay, so this is scientific. Okay, so there was this study done on monkeys. So I'm going to give you an example. So these monkeys were in Madagascar. I'm making it up. Okay, but that I'm not making up. So these monkeys were in Madagascar, and they figured out how to use certain things and how to make tools. Madagascar is off the coast of Africa, right? And suddenly, in Indonesia and other parts of Africa and other parts on various little islands where there's monkeys, right? They realize that these monkeys, of course, they never met each other, right? Obviously, they're in different islands, different continents, were almost simultaneously teaching themselves how to create tools and use those same tools. And that's where it came up, this concept of the collective consciousness, a shared collective consciousness. Does that answer your question? So when you heal, I heal is not a joke. If you are starting to embody unconditional self-love, no egoic attachment to it, just a pure sense of worth and that you matter. No ego attachment. It's all soul truth, source truth. It becomes like the 100 monkey theory. Does that make sense? And that's why it's connected to, it triggers to heal. And that's why it's important that you matter. And when people take their own lives, it's the same. It becomes the 100 monkey theory with that kind of despair is so potent. Because you understand, manifestation isn't done by willingness and thinking about it and all that shit. It's done by emotions. Do you understand? Manifestation is emotions. Your emotions are connected to the image of what you want to co-create, what you want to manifest. So if you manifest with emotions of negativity, despair, you're looping into that, and it's spiraling out like the butterfly effect. You know, the butterfly that in one side of the world creates a hurricane on the other. Do you understand? And yet, so that's why you all matter. That's why you all matter. Because each one of you is as individual as a quartz crystal. And they're telling me to say, and some quartz crystal yet to be found, yet to be unearthed. And so what you think and how you feel about yourself and your value on this journey called ascension is very important, and it connects to the twin flame journey, because once you start realizing of your own worth and your own mission, I'm seeing a pattern. That's why I'm in union with my twin, because both of us we got our butts kicked by the universe so badly that we both had to become transcendental or not survive it. not survive it. Go into despair, depression, and eventually drop our bodies. Either, by just being sickened by our lack, a low frequency. You're getting it. That's good. This is explaining my current process in words. I'm getting it. Okay, now it's clear why I was thrown into this country to increase the vibrations. Correct. That and Luna, thank you for bringing that up. Perfect. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Luna is saying something very true. There are places you don't want to be in. You're like, why the fuck am I here? You're here because there's a vibration that you're putting out just by your very presence in an environment that needs that vibration, that clarity, that frequency. And so you might be stuck in a town and you're like, why am I being punished? Why have you forsaken me, Source, God? Why are you forsaking me? What have I done wrong? I've done everything you've said. I meditate every day. I work on my chakras. I chant. I manifest. I do 369. I do yoga. I'm a vegan. I'm a vegetarian. Whatever the hell it is. And suddenly the universe plops you into a place you don't want to be in. That's exactly why, Luna. And eventually, when you actually release that resentment and you step into your mission going, apparently I have divine appointments. I've been in jobs when I was young. I go, why the fuck? I hate this place, right? And then once I would surrender and go, okay, apparently, because that sounds arrogant to say that, but it wasn't. Apparently, I have divine appointments. So I was working at a job where I had been reading this book called Mind Power into the 21st Century by John Kehoe. Mind Power into the 21st Century by John Kehoe, Kehoe. And this was in, it was in the early 2000s. And I remember I was so excited. I read that book like 20 times. It's a short book. It's like 148 pages. But anyway, and I was just totally telling everyone I knew. And everyone I knew, because, when I'm excited about something, believe me, I'm not selling anyone. They just get so excited too, they go buy it. Whatever the hell I tell them, go buy it. So I had like 10, 20 people who fucking bought the book. So it was like a reading club that I never actually, formed on purpose. But we were all talking about the book. And that book changed these people's lives, as it did mine. It completely changed my way of seeing how you could manifest. And 20 people, that means hundreds of people. Why? Because they told other people, they told their lineage. That's how we heal people. And that job wasn't just that. But I was counseling and working with kids and adults, changing their careers and so forth. And it wasn't just about selling them X, Y, and Z. It was about asking them, why are you here? I remember one day I had a client who was an Afghan war veteran. He was like, they were trying to disable him 100%. And he was fighting it. He wanted to go to school. And I said to him, honestly, you've got a little 4-year-old daughter, right? He goes, yeah. I go, here's some books you need to read. Okay. Because now you're going to go 100%. You're not enrolling here. He goes, why? I go, because the universe is giving you the opportunity to really do some incredible healing. I said, when was the last time you took off your boots and socks and walked around the grass and just sat there? And you've got the opportunity to actually pick up your daughter from school and have fun, take her hiking. This was upstate New York. And he said, but I have massive depression. I go, yeah, I know. You're supposed to have massive depression. You saw shit that people should never see. And so he ended up, so there were people, but had he not sat across, he would have been enrolled. Because it would have been all about the money. And I was like, no, not you. You're going out. You're going 100%. As long as you can, let the government take care of you. They owe you. They fucking owe you. And you need to just raise your daughter, raise yourself back into the world, read, enjoy nature, go hiking, go skiing, fucking enjoy your life as long as you can until you have to go back into the world. Don't be in this world. Be in another world. Create something beautiful. So there are things that you maybe put in front of you that you go, why am I here? And it could be that you're supposed to have the right conversation with the right person at the right time to change their lives, to give them a book, to give them titles, to say, here, let me write it down for you. Take a photo of it. Sending them links. Does that make sense? And that's going to be big. So, that's great. So, any questions on why you're important? What's making you not feel important? Be honest, because it would probably help the collective. And I'll read it. I won't say your name, but I'll read it. You know, what has been something self-sabotage? Yes, but why? You recognize it as you're doing it, or you don't recognize it until after you've done it? Depression is part of this experience, but I would say that past childhood trauma as a child, yes. So when you do hypnotherapy, what you want to do is save yourself as the adult. After, okay, so Mel, you need to start working on recognizing the sabotage as you're doing it. Trauma, yeah. So why do you think you would have gone through this kind of trauma? What do you think? What would be the purpose to go through this type of trauma? Your particular trauma. What do you think? Do you think there would have been a purpose? Rejection, feeling abandoned. I don't even know why. Well, let me tell you why. One of them is that for many incarnations, we felt non-deserving of something better. And our frequency decided to move into, I'm going to experience this again. And this time I'm going to be able to rise out of it. And the whole goal here in the ascension is for you to rise out of it. But how can you rise out of it if it still haunts you, right? To become one of these people that starts helping other people by going public with your spiritual evolution. You don't have to be a spiritual coach. I think some people who are in deep depression shouldn't do that. It's not okay. It's like the drowning man teaching a drowning man how to swim. That's insane to me. However, the drowning man can share his drowning stories with the world, and other drowning people can watch and going, oh, I'm not crazy. This shit's normal. It's not normal. I mean, it's not normal you want to live for the rest of your life, but it's happening to me. And what I'm feeling as I'm drowning is making me feel, now that I hear it from someone else, making me feel like, okay, so I'm not crazy. And I'm gonna follow this drowning man on TikTok or whatever, and we're gonna do it together. And the drowning man would say, we're gonna do it. We're gonna figure out how to stop drowning and learn how to swim. We're gonna get out of this ocean of emotions that seems immense, more immense than we can possibly tackle, right? And so when you start sharing your stories with people, you're actually now stepping into your mission. When you eventually have crossed the Rubicon, the river of despair, into the other side, the new dawn into yourself, you know what I mean? And at that point, now, you can start coaching and helping. And then you could say to me, well, Tony, but I haven't fully healed. None of us are fully healed. That's why Chiron is, I think it's interesting that Chiron is in the constellation of stars, right? Chiron, the wounded healer, keyword, wounded, not healed healer, wounded. He's still wounded. He's still going through things. And what I found over the decades of working with clients, it doesn't matter, all over the world, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, atheist, agnostic, whatever, right, is that they came to me with levels of pain, like something in them was a reflection of my own pain, either resolved, in process of healing, or long ago healed or not healed. And together I walk with them to help them find the healing. None of us are healed. This is when people say, oh, I'm healed. Really? Right there, you're not healed. The ascension we're going through is a healing journey. It's a massive healing journey, individually, collectively. And it's not just that we're healing this incarnation of childhood trauma or whatever. And there are all these incarnations we've never been able to actually analyze, vibrationally speaking. You don't have to look at every past life you had. The past lives you had that are important will be downloaded to you, shown to you through hypnotherapy, through your own downloads that aren't, you know what I mean? Through aha moments, through resonance, You know, like something resonates with me. Oh my God. Okay. Well, maybe that was, and other things will evolve out of that for a massive purging, burning and purging and healing, cauterization of wounds long, long ago, not looked at and now being looked at. Do you understand? So you don't have to be, there's this thing of, I want to get all my ducks in a row. I want to be fully healed. I want to get my shit together. It's like, good luck. It's like you get your shit together as you walk the path. That's what I've learned over the years. Absolutely. I think my whole childhood trapped me in a box, and now I'm trying to get out of this box and start showing myself. Exactly. You just start. Nothing is a mistake. We're here to learn. Haunts me, yes. I understand all my trauma has built up who I am now. Exactly. For me to redeem myself from my mind, finding love and light again, I think guilt for me for past trauma. I have guilt too. Wow, this is such a deeply profound. Oh, you're welcome. So when I do a saging of myself and I open the 4 corners above and below, I'm just telling you what I do. I will sage myself and face the south and say, because I see Garuda, and Garuda is the eagle that was that protected Krishna, right? But anyway, you can say the gold eagle, right? Or the hawk, whatever, you know, resonates with you. But I say, thank you for placing me upon the wings of the gold eagle, so that I may see that every move in my life, every loss, every fear, every death, every triumph, every disgrace, every shaming, every rejection, every abandonment, every love, every joy, every sense of freedom were necessary for me to be who I am today. I am so grateful for this life. And so it's like literally looking at the panorama of your life from an eagle's eye view and realizing that every moment, good and bad, tragic and triumphant, were literally what created the personality you embody today in this incarnation. And that now makes you choose different things. When I was 22, I would have chosen to have a Chanel bag and red lipstick and travel on private jet plane and live the life of the rich and famous. I believe in reincarnation, by the way, then. I read beautiful books, all of that, you know, all of these things. But I wanted those material things because it made me feel a certain way. Today, I don't give a shit about these things at all. And either way, it's not what I desired that was the problem. Okay? There's nothing wrong with wanting a private jet. It was why I wanted them. The reasons behind that. So, because there's a false sense of self-soothing. Whereas now, if I wanted a private jet, it'd just be to get to, fucking, I got shit done. I just want to just get to the place. That's it. That's the only reason, right? It's not to make me feel like I'm all that, or to make me feel, it would be like, nah, I got, you mean if I, charter a private jet, I can get there in 5 hours instead of fucking 24 hours? I'm on it. You got me. There's a different reason behind it. It's not what you desire, ever. It's why you desire it. Does that make sense? And so when you go through this evolution of the self, and you're forgiving yourself, and embracing all of that was given to you, including the shit show that probably were your parents, okay? Even that, and thanking that. Like today, I finally realized why my father was in my life. Today. Sometimes the realizations take a long time because you're so entrenched in anger and rage and feeling of the fact that your parents really fucked you up, right? But once you get to a place of why, you can really, really, really do some powerful, powerful healing, which ultimately is forgiving, forgiveness, and which frees you. And it freed me, like today, is realizing why my father was in my life. Because I could not. I used to have him on a pedestal, and then he fell, which is another problem. Never put people on a pedestal, not your twin, not anyone, not even yourself. Definitely not yourself, ever. So, do you have any shares that you want to share with other people? Can you see my comments? I think I'm banned right now. No, you're not banned. You're right here. I hear you. I just don't look down. Listen, guys, don't take it personally. when I'm speaking to you like this, I look away from this, your comments, only because it would throw me off the track of what I'm trying to share with you. But let me go back and read. Nothing is a mistake. We're here to learn. Haunts me. Yes, absolutely. I think my whole childhood trapped me in a box. I already read that. Hi. Hey, Mia. I think my biggest self-sabotage is to doubt everything. That's a big problem. I think I just need to get out of my head more often and communicate with a community like this. Yes, get out of your head. Actually, get out of your head, period. Get into your heart. Can't you all see my comments? I think I'm banned right now. No, you're here. We can. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, don't worry. Love. Yes. Okay. Any comments or shares to share with the collective? Because why you're important, being the theme of this talk, this live, is really important because Luna understands why she's in this country, right? What do you guys understand about why you were with your families? Why you chose your families? Because we do choose our families. My twin has a hard time believing that. He doesn't believe that at all. He believes that everything we experience is a frequency match, which he's not wrong. He's not wrong. But what I believe is that we choose based on our own frequency, our inherent frequency. So if you die, you definitely don't want the people you love to die with despair, self-loathing, and regret. You want all of that to be forgiven and released. Okay? Do you understand or know the connection between twin flames and archangels? It's an interesting question because that's a very deep question. I'll tell you why, because I don't know how deep I can go with this because I mean, woohoo you right out of here, but what the hell you're asking? There was a particular vision download that I got where I saw us as souls being made through the portals of our archangels. It was almost like honeycombs, and we were connected and made in that way. And we passed through from source, right? Directly from source, made as souls, and then pushed through. And it was almost like we were filtered, like a filtering system, like tea leaves, right? Going through a filtering system. And the filtering systems were in the shape of honeycombs. And those honeycombs were within the portals of archangels, who are mammoth, which we connect also as we split into twin flames. On another level, and this is completely different than what I just described as to how souls are made in the way that I downloaded the understanding of it, was that some of us, not all of us, okay, some of us came from what, and again, not archangels. I gotta go in a minute because I gotta do a reading. Sorry about that. These are not archangels, but angelic beings, right? And we are feminines, come on, I'm trying to find the word for this. The divine feminines of that species of starseeds, who were angelic species, were in the 7th, 8th, whatever, high dimensions. The females were asked to come down to start the first humanoid species as we know it, which doesn't go against Zachariah Stitchin's Sumerian tablets, by the way, at all. Because when the feminine's angelic realms fell, and they fell, I'm talking about, it was a visceral, physical falling, everything was being ripped off them. It was like a rocket falling back to Earth, right? There was not only almost instantaneous amnesia, but of what had happened, because the masculine angelic realms stayed behind, because they were hustled from the God of the Old Testament. I know it sounds really weird, but anyway, and then when these angelic feminines came in, no longer angelic, now mortal human women, right, came in, it created this story of the Lilith. And it wasn't one Lilith, it was 12. And they were hustled because humans had already been created. Just read Zachariah Stitchin's books on the 12th planet and so forth. And Sumerian tablets, okay? He didn't write. It's not something he made up. He literally just translated the tablets. Enlil, Thoth comes from that, and all kinds of things. And, I'm kind of brushing, I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying. But there's a lot of beautiful information that's out there. But I see Archangel Michael in my dreams so much. Yes, Archangel Michael is very much part of this journey for all of us. But he's also this angelic powerhouse who is Angel Michael, Archangel Michael. I feel is more likely prominent because he's blue, right? There's a lot of blue light around him. Is more prominent for us starseeds, and many of us who are twin flames, twin rays, we're starseeds. It's a no-brainer. We are starseeds. We're not earthlings. Does that make sense? So that's why. So, I started seeing Archangel Michael. I saw his wings years. I didn't even know it was him, actually. It took me a year, like almost 10 years to realize, oh shit, that's Angel. Like literally, it was like, I just thought it was, I didn't know what it was. But anyway, any other questions? That was a great question, Mitch. And I lost a lot of people. Yeah, blue. I see his wings also. Did I miss anyone else? Thank you, Jen. So I know in telling my story of the Liliths, I lost people. But again, those are the downloads I got through the grandfather medicine, just so you know. And usually people don't get downloads like that. It's pretty unusual. Really unusual. I see his wings also. Yes. He's blue colors around him. There's a lot of blue around him. When I first saw my twin after 27 years, I had a meditation that I was doing, and the way my twin was shown to me was all blue lights, because I'd been working on my throat chakra, which of course would be blues, right? And there he was walking in as my twin I'm talking about. It was all blue lights. Mitch, you just made me realize that was a message from Angel Michael. It was time, and that's exactly when I contacted my twin after 27 years of silence. It's very interesting that Krishna is depicted as blue. And Krishna, honestly, Yeshua, and funny too, because my twin this morning was saying, what do you think is the name of, because I was saying Yeshua, he goes, that's not really his name. I go, what do you mean? He goes, that's not truly his name. I went, that's intriguing. Let me look it up. And I looked it up, and it's Iso, which is Aramaic. Iso. I went, oh my God. Anyway, when I was doing this journey of LBL, Lives Between Lives Hypnotherapy, not only did I see Yeshua, for the purpose of this conversation, but Krishna. And Krishna appears in many of my, like when I chant the mantra of Hare Krishna, and with my drum, I see Rama. I see Rama running with his arrows, his quiver and bow. I always see him, and he's always running, and joyous, and Sita, and deer's running, and it's like he's not really hunting. It's a joke. It's like a game. You know what I mean? It's really cool. Okay, let me see here. Thank you, Mitch, for that question. I love Rama and Sita's story. I know, because I saw like a huge figure similar in color against the background of the live. Wow. Okay. Beautiful, Luna. Thank you. I wouldn't be surprised. On my altar, you should have something in your altar that depicts the divine couple, right? These are twin rays, yeah, Yeshua and Mary Magdalena. I happen to have Krishna and Radha on my altar. And I have Ganesh and Hanuman, and I have Kuan Yin, and of course I have Buddha and his consort on another altar. So it's not a bad idea to have representation of the divine union of the masculine and feminine. Anyway, I love this. This is a beautiful live that you guys are co-creating. I really appreciate it. Anything else that you guys want to share? That's beautiful. I think I did a live once where I spoke of the story of Maya, and I was going to keep it for another live because, sometimes it can be long. And just so you guys know, if you guys have missed this live right from the beginning, because I did an oracle reading, and I think I'm going to end with an oracle card, another one. I upload these on YouTube, okay? So you can see some of my lives. I did a live on my friend who's on his journey back home, okay, to other realms. And I'm going to upload that one, so you'll see that one. And then this one I will upload. I just had finished having a conversation with my shaman, who's an ayahuasca shaman in Costa Rica. And we're going to do a live. I'm hoping this week with him. He's trying to figure out TikTok because he's my age, right? In my age range. So he needs to talk to his son on how to help him figure out TikTok and all that. He's a shaman, not a technician. But he's an engineer. That's what's so funny. But he's a former engineer, and we're going to be talking about sacred medicines. But you guys have any shares or any questions? And thank you, Jen, for being here again, as usual. Jen and Tony set up the Discord, and if it's on my profile page on Linktree, and you can join the Discords. Luna, you should definitely join the Discord. All of you who have never met me, you may want to join the Discord if you're going through the twin flame separation, depression, dark night of the soul. There's all kinds of people that are sharing books, movies. Oh, the movie that really triggered one of my clients. Can I tell you that? That will make you laugh. Not laugh in a haha, let's laugh at the client. Laugh in that incredible. Working on Patreon also, you're the best. Thank you so much, Luna and Mitch and all of you, Carla, all of you. I feel like Romper Room. I feel like Sarah, Zale, and all of you are making it. And it's many of you who don't talk about it. But the movie that is very much a twin flame journey, that it didn't occur to me for the collective. It occurred to me for that particular client. And it was a book written in the 1700s, and it's called Dangerous Liaison with Uma Thurman. So that's the one I want you guys to watch out. Uma Thurman, Dangerous Liaison, and Michelle Pfeiffer. Michelle Pfeiffer does some kick-ass movies, let me tell you. But anyway, this is a very, very, very good twin flame story. And I'm not going to tell you the end, no spoiler alert, but if you want homework today, watch the movie, Dangerous Liaison with Uma Thurman and Michelle Pfeiffer. And then go on Discord and tell us how pissed off you are. Because it triggered my client who's in a twin flame journey. And she was mad at me at first because it triggered a lot of shit in her. And there were of the movie. So you welcome. Thank you for Feminine Divine 9, Jay. You all do that today. Yeah, I'll do that today. Yeah, watch that movie. It's fucking kick-ass. It's a kick-ass. It's one of my favorite movies, and it was a book written in the 1700s. So twin flames, we didn't call it twin flames, but the twin flame dynamics, you can't make this shit up. It's been talked about for thousands of years. Okay? And unfortunately, we've lost many of the stories from pre-recorded history, right? Oh, and when it was recorded, it was being burned by you-know-who. We can, thank them for that again and again. But I think my next live, we'll talk about Maya. Just came in, but what are your thoughts on Twin Flame University? Chris, I just did a video. There's part 1 and part 2 on my profile. Go look it up. It says, it will say part 1 and part 2 on Twin Flame University. And there are a lot of expletives on those two idiots, okay? Because all of the healers all over the world that I know, for real, they aren't rich. They have money. Nothing wrong with money. And we should never try to guilt healers who need to pay rent and or mortgage or whatever, or want to take a vacation. But there's money, and then there's wealth done in a very cultish way. And so I did that. I watched it from beginning to end. Literally, whatever. I don't know if it was a 4-hour thing, or I sat there from beginning to end. I watched every episode in one full swoop, and then immediately started doing my impressions on them. And there's 1, 2, and I figured I don't need to, I don't need to watch that. I thought about watching it, but I'm not going to waste my time. I'd rather do videos on helping people not hurt themselves and not think they're crazy than spend any more time on Netflix and escaping twin flames. They can kiss my you-know-what. Tony teaches the exact opposite of... I'm so the opposite, it's not even funny. I'm totally the opposite. And the reason is because I know for a fact that their hearts weren't true. They are egoic, based, and everything. Thank you. That's very kind of you, Letty. And Canary. I really appreciate that. I look you in here sometimes. You see, I lurk. Oh, you lurk. No, you're not lurking. You're just listening. It's all good. Don't do that. Don't say that about that. You didn't lurk. You come in. People are private about their journeys, and they want to hear, and they want to be safe, and they don't want to expose themselves. And I respect that. It's all good. But ultimately, The twin flame journey activation that happens multiple times in your journey will start becoming easier and easier, and eventually, hopefully, will culminate into the final union. Yes, you get the bubble love and all that. I get that. But what's really important is it solidifies. It's like two keys. It's like it's like two puzzles meeting as one, like the yin and the yang. Think of those as puzzle pieces, the black and the white, right? And one's on another continent, and there's a weird shaking energy, uncomfortable energy, and then finally they meet in union, and you have the yin and the yang. You've got the feminine and masculine energy in divine union, balancing not just themselves, but it reverberates across the planet. That's why we matter. We matter. You matter. You might be shy. You might be a shy flower. I have a client who I call her the Iron Rose, right? Because she's very like a geisha energy. But I had to give her this analogy, and I'll give it to you because some of you need to hear this. So I told her, geishas are powerful. She said, okay, explain that one to me, right? And I said, well, imagine a geisha will sit and do a tea ceremony, and it takes a half hour to make that bloody tea, and it's the cup and the whisk and the this and the boiling of the water and all of that. But here comes a battle-weary warrior, a samurai, and he's had many campaigns of wars, and suddenly he's sitting in this beautiful garden, in this beautiful little temple-like structure, right? And he's there just to watch her make tea and to give him the cup finally, right? But as he watches her, every move is exact. She says nothing, but all she does is move from one task to another very slowly, almost like an orchestrated dance. And in her gentleness, in her beauty, she turns the samurai into a puddle of surrender, like a long drawn out sigh, all from watching her do that. Some of us are Kalima. We are the ones with the sword plates, and we have these breastplates, and we're like these Amazon warriors, or male warriors, shaman warriors. And some of us come in as poets and philosophers, and we play on the lyre, and we sing poetry. And some of us say nothing. We just move through space, and in our presence we heal others, saying not a word. We all matter. We all matter. And each one of these personalities, archetypes I've just described, are critical to balancing the planet. All right. So now you know, right? I've been doing this 21 years. I'm veteran. I'm learning. Good. Very good. I have an incredible, Mitch. I have a video that I did. You'll see this guy. It's a warrior. He's got the sun disk behind him. And and I talk about the high priestesses that would make love, and these temple priestesses that would make love to battle-scarred warriors. You should check it out. It's actually based on facts. It's a true story. Oh, you're welcome, Stephanie. I'm glad. Okay, great. So listen, it's been 90 minutes. I'm going to upload this video. If you want to follow me, please do. If not, go on my profile page and go onto Discord. Follow that. I got tons of videos, guided meditations that will teach you how to work on your 9 somatic chakras, but at the same breath help you release things that are stuck with you. And yeah, all right. So I think the next live I'll do will be about Maya. What do you think? Just okay. And I'll tell you the story of Maya. It's a really cool story. I might actually do a video on it because it's one of my favorite stories on how to explain Maya. Stephanie said, I've tried to join the Discord. It says error. Make sure that you don't have another Discord account somewhere else. Okay? Try to change maybe I wish I could send it to you. All right. Sending you much love on your journey, you all. Take care. Namaste. Be well.